Hi, my Wimbies. Welcome to another episode of Just on a Whim. Oh, I think I'm getting the hang of this a bit, but I really can't believe this is happening. This is another video episode. I think I like the setup that I have going on. Not too much. We have the speaker, we have the background, we have a few things going on here. But welcome. I hope you guys had a week full of rest, resetting, and digesting. If you didn't, I hope that you still found some ways to do either of the three because they are fundamental in our overall well-being. Anyways, so for today's episode, I want to talk about something that isn't really mentioned a lot, especially in society. I feel like we all are taught to just thug things out. We are taught to let things go, to move on without fully addressing things that upset us in our relationships. Yeah, like we are taught to move on and not fully express ourselves, especially when it's at the hands of another person's actions, what's caused by another person. So for this episode, we're going to be titling it Making Room for Disappointment. I feel like disappointment is such a underused emotion, or it's an emotion that a lot of people don't express, or we are taught to suppress a lot. Like we just like, okay, it is what it is. Like we have this it is what it is mindset. But it's still a very important one. Like we are allowed to feel disappointment. We are allowed to express disappointment. It's okay to say that, hey, I'm not happy that you did this. I'm not happy about your actions. It's okay to say that. It's normal. It's very normal to say that. I'm disappointed. Like I'm actually disappointed. And maybe it's because of how weighted the word is. Like there is no positive connotation to disappointment. Disappointment is such a weighted term. It carries so much weight because it's saying that I expected this of you because I knew that you could live up to it and yet you didn't. And that hurts me because disappointment is also a reflection of hurt. And not because a person necessarily did something, but it could also be that a person didn't do something. It's saying, hey, I really wanted you to show up and you didn't. And you know that a person can show up, but they just didn't. And I feel like the reason why we may lack or avoid addressing disappointment is because we have to come to a place where we would have to admit that we are hurt. We would have to come to a place to realize and accept how much a person's actions actually affected us. So instead of coming to terms with that, we just say, it is what it is. That is life. When in reality, it's actually not okay. Like we can still and we should and we must stop practicing disappointment. And it hurts, like being told that I'm upset that you didn't do this, or I expected you to show up and you didn't. It hurts to feel it if you're on the receiving end anyways. It really hurts. And if you're the person expressing this as well, it could be very uncomfortable because fear that that person may take it the wrong way and they end up leaving you. Whew, I'm telling you, it's weighted. So this segment is going to be expectations and disappointments in relationships. Expectations is, I feel like that's the cause, and disappointment is usually the effect. So we expect, it's okay. I know a lot of people say you can't and you shouldn't, or it's safer to not expect things of people. But we can still, and I really want us to start normalizing expectations. And they don't have to be extremely high. Matter of fact, they shouldn't. But if you and a person have a very mutual relationship and you guys are both benefiting and you're in a healthy place, it's okay to say, and it's okay to expect things of them, especially when you know that they can live up to it. But you need to be realistic at the same time. You need to make sure that these expectations are realistic and these are things that these people can do. You can't, and you can't expect the same things from different people. And you can't always expect the same things from the same person as well, because we all have our own lives. But in a friendship, I can't expect my friends to always show up or to behave in the way that I do. I can only expect them to be themselves and to reciprocate the fundamental characteristics of a friend from me and from them to me. Like, I do not expect my friend to race over at my house at 2 a.m. because I'm having an emotional breakdown. If she was to do that, she's an exceptional person. But I do not expect that of them. So if I was to have a breakdown and I call her and I'm upset and she doesn't come to my house, I'm not going to be disappointed because I don't expect that of her to do. See? That's an expectation. An expectation is just be there for me as a friend. Be there for me when I need you. And you can't always, and I do not expect people to always be there for me or when I need them the most, because sometimes people become unavailable and that is normal. So they have to be very realistic, your expectations. And they're different for each person. What I expect is different. Expectations are more so for people and standards are for yourself. But you have to be very careful with the expectations you set and who you place them on. Yeah, but if you can do it properly, you'll receive less disappointment. And disappointment doesn't, again, also mean that they are instantly going to get cut off. You can express those things. Like, let me give you an example. If you expect something from someone and they don't show up. Okay. Let's say you had a birthday, and on birthdays, typically you want those who you care about to be there for you. Because you want them to celebrate your life, you know? Birthdays are very important. Birthdays are very special. And it doesn't just have to be a birthday. It can be any special occasion to you. And so if someone you really wanted to be there, they didn't come, and maybe their reasons for not showing up were just, they weren't excusable reasons. You're allowed to say, I'll be honest with you, I'm very disappointed you didn't show up. I was disappointed when you didn't come, or I was disappointed. You don't even have to say the word disappointed. You can say, I'm upset about this. I'm upset about that. And you have to be very intentional with who you say this to, because some people don't actually care about you. And some people honestly want to hear those words from you. But the right people you can say these things to. And some people may not understand what you value. So by expressing how you feel about their actions can also shed light on what you require of them. So that's another thing that's very important in relationships is that people don't have the same beliefs. People don't have the same expectations, or people do not value the same things as you. So when you're in situations like this, it could be a new friendship, a new relationship. It's vital that you express these things to them so that they may understand and do better the next time, because they don't know what you've gone through in your life, and you don't need to, you know, spill all your traumas on them and say, well, this happened to me and this happened to me. No, you don't need to do that. You can simply say, hey, I'm upset. You didn't. I really wanted you to be there, and I felt I expressed myself clearly earlier on that your presence was important to me. And if they really care about you, they'll say, oh wow, I actually didn't know. I'm really sorry about that. Because sometimes people really are ignorant, and it's up to you to explain that to them. And that goes on to the next concept. You have to be open about what you want for yourself, and you need to set that standard. So this may require a lot of soul searching. This may require you to have to look into yourself and discover these things. You have to know what you want. You have to know what it is you want to gain. You have to study yourself, because there's no point roaming around trying to do everything and you're just clueless and things just become messy and discombobulated. No. You need to know that, and then you have to be bold and open to request these things from people. You have to be honest about what you want. And if people can't or don't want to do those things for you, then you can decide, well, this is probably going to be a waste of my time. Well, I don't really see value in this. Well, there's no point in this, so I'm going to leave it as it is. And by knowing the things that you want, you can set that standard. And if the situation does not fulfill those standards, you keep it pushing. You move on. You move on. You move on. You move on. And that's how it is. But yeah, like, expectations and disappointments, it's okay. Like, we need to stop suppressing the emotions that are very important, because if we do not address them, that's one, how we can end up in very toxic and unhappy relationships. That's how we can become enablers of people's bad behaviors. That's how we can rid ourselves of things that truly make us happy. You don't need to settle, and you don't need to depend on people to bring joy and fulfillment into your life. They can be accessories to your happiness. And accessories are nice. I like wearing accessories. But that doesn't have to be the main thing. I think one thing that has helped me a lot in my journey of self-love is that I had to learn that it's okay to expect things from people. It's okay to want good things for myself. It's okay to want the best quality relationships for myself. And if I feel like I'm not getting what I deserve, I don't want to say feel, if I'm not getting what I deserve, I'm not going to accept it, or I'm not going to settle because I deserve better and I want better for myself. And it's okay to feel disappointed when something doesn't work out. It's okay for the puzzles to not fit or complement each other. It's okay that you really want to be in a relationship, but just the people that you're dating or the scene just isn't what you would like for it to be. It's okay to say no. I don't like this. It's okay to say no. This is not my standard. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay. It's okay. You have to learn how to say no to the things you don't like. Because you're going to rid yourself of happiness. Like, why do you deny yourself heaven? You don't have to accept what's below. Like, that's why I say you really have to know what you want, set that standard, and reject or accept what works or doesn't work for you. So, yeah, I really want for us, for you guys, if you haven't, to grow into being bold in demanding what it is you want. You have to be bold. You have to be open. You have to love or not like or dislike what it is you want and what it is you don't want. Yeah. It's just, I think when you come from a certain background, you almost feel as though you don't deserve good things. I think that was a mindset it took me a while to get out of, was that because I grew up from hardship, I can only get what's in front of me and I shouldn't ask for better, or I'm not allowed to ask for better. And that could just be also a cultural thing. That modesty, like what you get is what you get. Get what you get and don't be upset. But I'm saying today, no, that's not the case. We shouldn't settle, and we are allowed to say no. We have the power of choice. Like, the moment you realize, I don't have to do this. I don't have to accept this. I don't want this. I don't want this, so no. And especially if you're a woman, don't let a man downplay you or degrade you or make you feel like, oh, you're not all that, because yes, you are. Because there's someone out there who, when they see you, they're just fumbling, their knees are shaking, they're weak in the knees, and they'll give you the absolute world. So don't feel as though because you really, really want someone right now, you want to feel taken care of, you want someone who could just accept you to the point you date someone who just tolerates you. I don't want someone to accept me. I don't want someone to tolerate me. I want someone who will do everything to maintain me and keep me. Because if I let this one go, I'm finished. I'm a finished man. Oh, but make room. Make room for disappointment. Make room for all the negative emotions you feel. Not just disappointment. Make room for all of them. Because they're still emotions and they still need to be felt. They still need to be processed. Because if you don't, you're going to build up like a kettle pot and then explode. And the last thing you'd want is to explode. And if you do, that's actually okay as well. But just be careful that you don't go burning things that are valuable. With that, I think the last final concept is going to be the art of detachment, mastering the art of detachment. Now, mastery is a lifelong thing. You can never fully master something in this life. You're always going to evolve. I feel like evolution is an ongoing, infinite thing. But the art of detachment, so this more so applies when something just isn't working for you anymore. So you've already committed, you've already established something for whatever duration. I don't know. It can be a friendship, it could be a job, it could be a career, it could be, but this is more so to do with interpersonal relationships. How this works is that when something, again, isn't fulfilling you in the way that you liked, or that it isn't blossoming or evolving the way you would like, and you don't see change, if things have become stagnant, like there's a stagnancy or even a plateau, like things were going great, they were going up, they were a bit balanced, but they were still going up, they're progressing, things were accelerating, but now it's like this steady, stagnant line. There's no growth. You can either choose that I will continue, or you can decide, you know what, I feel like this season has ended and I think it's time for me to let go. Again, relationships. This is up to you. You don't need to hold on to things that no longer serve you. If you feel like something is no longer serving you, a relationship is no longer serving you, because I'm all about hey, the English is going. Things just need to transpire and grow. And just like the weather, there are seasonal changes. During summer, that's typically when the trees are quite lush. Autumn, the leaves fall. Winter, there's no leaves. Spring, that's when things blossom up, which is good. But sometimes you'll find that even though you went through all, how many is that, summer, winter, autumn? Even though you went through all 4 seasons in the past, you've been stuck at winter where there's no blossoming, there's no blossoming, there's no blossoming, there's no blossoming. If a tree is no longer blossoming, if a tree is no longer sprouting fruits or growing leaves, are you going to keep it in the garden? Or are you going to uproot that tree? And you could say, well, but it's done so good in the past. But now it's not. Like, you kind of have to make that big decision and say, your time has ended here. Your time has ended here. It's time for you to go. And it's painful to have to let go. Like I expressed earlier in the first episode, that letting go is very difficult. Sometimes if you can't let go, you just detach. Detach is just you removing yourself from the situation. But don't abandon in this hypothetical, do not abandon your garden. This garden is your life. But it's just choosing to no longer invest in this area. But detaching in a relational aspect would just be slowly not putting in that same effort. It can be very difficult to remove yourself. Yeah, because I guess you run the risk of going back or trying to revive what's been dead for a very long time. But slowly understanding that this is something that is no longer working for you, you'll get better at it. And even earlier on, yeah, just remove yourself. But it's easier said than done. I'll be honest with you guys. It's easier said than done. Yeah. Minorities tend to get this sense of guilt when they're living better off than their subgroup. Like I said, when you're in a certain situation, especially if it's one that you're sharing with other people, there's this level of guilt that comes with it. But then it's not something you should feel guilty about. That's something we have to unlearn. You have to unlearn a lot of the limiting beliefs we grew up with. And I don't want to say something you can just throw, like remove and throw out. It's something you have to replace or find substitutes to. Otherwise, we're going to fall. Like, we're going to have an empty space. It's like, okay, I got rid of this. Now what? What do I do? So you would replace them for things that are better. I deserve this. Why do I deserve this? Because we will think that, well, why am I like, I'm not better than them. I'm not better than them. Why me? Why me? Why not you? You deserve an amazing life. You deserve everything you work hard for. You deserve amazing friendships. You deserve amazing relationships. You need to start telling yourself, you need to start affirming to yourself that you deserve every good thing coming for you. I used to believe that I didn't deserve good friendships. I used to think that I did not deserve a happy and healthy relationship with a partner. I used to think I didn't deserve a lot of things, mainly because I was never among those things, or I just didn't know what they looked like, or I felt very insecure within myself that no one would want to be my friend, no one would want me to be their girlfriend. But it was something that I had to unlearn and grow out of. And with time, when you start to take care of yourself, when you start to pamper yourself, when you start to love yourself on a whole different level, and I'm not talking surface, and when I say love yourself, don't just love the good parts of you, you have to love the ugly parts as well. But when I say love yourself, I am more speaking about the bad versions of you. We all have very ugly sides. We all have very bad sides. But when you are in those states, you learn how to be a lot more graceful. You learn how to be a lot more patient. You learn how to handle yourself with care. We all have traumas. We all have triggers. We all have situations we have gone through that has greatly impacted how we operate and how we see ourselves and how we perceive others to see us. All these things. And I'm a lot more gentle with myself. Because I feel like if we learn how to love those parts of us, we're not going to ignore them. Because I feel like a lot of us just ignore and push those, we suppress or we push those skeletons in our closet. We know they exist. We know that they're hanging there, but we just don't want to confront them. But confrontation can be quite intimidating. So I don't want to say confront them. We don't want to handle them because it can be scary. It can be daunting. And like I said, it can be very intimidating. But once I've started to embrace myself as a human who has many, many, many faults, I've learned to not be highly critical of me, I've learned to not condemn myself when I make mistakes or when I don't do what I want to do. I'm just like, well, I'm human. If my friend, my mom, or my sister aren't going to rebuke me or they're not going to be mean, why would I be mean to myself? There's a lot of things I wanted to do this week, let me be very honest, and I didn't get to do it. But I'm not mad. I have many other factors that impact my performance. So it's okay. But I know for a fact that I'm still going to do them. It may not be today, may not even be tomorrow. And that is totally fine. But yeah, like, you need to really carry yourself with more grace. The Bible already says that you need to love yourself the way you love others. So the same grace you would extend to your friends, your siblings, you need to also extend that to yourself. So just learn how you treat other people. If you are a nice person, if you're not, I'm sorry. But if you're a nice person, learn. Just really start to observe how you are with other people and reflect that back to yourself. But detachment, it's something that's going to take time, but there's a lot more to it than just detaching. Because if you're not practical and if you do not analyze the situation well, you'll easily find yourself back at the place that is like a desert with no agriculture. It's just sand and heat. So once you're able to analyze the situation and whether or not this is something that is going to be good for you anymore, you're able to take a step back and maybe even turn your back and walk away in the opposite direction. That concludes this segment, my Wimbies. I'm so thankful for you guys tuning in. I can't believe this is actually happening. This is going to be a proper YouTube video. Oh wait, this is the second one. Oh my gosh, let me be serious. But this is actually happening, this podcast. Please, if you guys enjoyed this and you felt like this is something that's going to be helpful to another friend, a family member, share it. Do what you have to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good fun stuff. You do it. And drop in the comments what you guys want to add. These are just my thoughts. You guys can definitely add your own. If there are things you want me to also add into, let me know. And we don't have to agree on the same things. We can definitely have our own thoughts. And I love that. Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys disagree with me? Why do you disagree with me? Why do you agree with me? Those kinds of things. We're all individuals with our own minds. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Yeah. So until next time, I hope you guys please rest, reset, and digest. Okay, bye.